Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me, Megan Hoffmeyer, Sarah Newer, DJ Valentine, Billy Business, and Brendan Peters. This is Andy Boentes. This is Nathan Leahy, David Cross, Jake Lewitt, Norbert Morvan, it's Lisa Leahy, Joey Lewandowski, John Levingood, Professor Mike Dillon, Nick React, Niall Moore, Adam Youngblood Hodgkin, Eric Hoffmeyer, it's Johnny Nunn. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who's wearing two eye patches for this episode. It's John Levingood.
It helps me sleep, Mark. It's the best way to sleep.
It's a two on one eye, which is interesting.
Double blind. It's the bad. It's the good eye when I sleep.
so we're on our 675 episodes, John.
Wow.
And typically we cover a Kurt Russell film on every 25th, 50th, 75th, 600th episode. I've been really busy lately, just swamped, so I didn't want to tackle a movie. So I had a bunch of cool MFF listeners, friends, followers on socials send us questions about Kurt Russell. So this episode we're going to dedicate to answering really random questions about Kurt Russell's filmography.
That's interesting too, because we used to do that a lot. We used to do listener questions on. It probably really got popular around episode 20 or 30 or so, and we would just do a couple, and then it just became a thing for hundreds of episodes. We had some whole episodes called listener questions,
and we had a surplus.
It just just getting back to the roots of it all.
I figured that'd be fun because if you've been listening for a while, you know that I need to watch a movie, probably rewatch it, listen to the commentary, and then find as many articles and YouTube are like interviews as possible to do all my research for the episode. And I just didn't have time to do that. And I just don't feel comfortable going in after like one viewing. I like being prepared. So that's why I like these questions. They're all random. I put some work into them, but they were fun. You could answer these on a plane when you're flying around, or you could think about these when you're stuck in traffic. So I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So Allie Maxwell asked, what element is his best sidekick? Water or fire? And I have something interesting. I think I have an answer, John.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we think about water, there's Captain Ron. There's Soldier, the water fight, the Poseidon, his most watery movie, Escape from LA. He's surfing. He's in the submarine. Big Trouble in Little China.
A lot in Big Trouble in China.
He's in the water. Miracle. He's skating on ice. Frozen water. Overboard. It's on a boat in the water. Tombstone. The no scene. Tango and Cash. Right. He's in the shower. He's getting electrocuted when it's wet. Even if you think about his ice movies, where it's Hateful Eight, it's like those types of The Thing, that's just frozen water, ice, and
fire on The Thing,
and fire, a lot of fire. But here's what I'm thinking. I think that his best sidekick is fire.
I mean, it's when you first are saying all these things, the place that my mind, and I think where a lot of the minds of the listeners go, are just making visual associations in our head of scenes with water and not necessarily the sidekick. But when we think the sidekick and we start talking fire, I start thinking of The Thing,
the flamethrower.
Right. And even though most of the time he's just sitting there ready to use it and not actually using it a lot of the time, just him holding it and the tension of him holding it ready to go and using it to heat up that I was that a straightened up paper clip.
Yep.
Like just all the tension associated with that device and what it's capable of. It's almost like the difference between what is it? Dread and horror, whereas the dread is an anticipation, but the horror is the revelation of what was dreaded or what was unknown. It's like in this case, the fire for again, that scene. It's not when he's blasting the thing with fire, which is really cool. It's the threat of the fire, the dread and the anticipation for me. So the thing is big, and then of course Backdraft, holy crap, right?
It's all fire.
Holy
and
crap.
Deepwater Horizon's about a gigantic fire.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that, but yes.
Yeah. And so, like, and also, I just water is more plentiful in his career, but I think fire's his best sidekick. I really do. So for me, I'm gonna go with fire. I just think I don't know. I feel like those two go together well. So you with me on that?
100%. And then there's also the fact that, again, it doesn't matter if it's the Thing, Poseidon, Backdraft, the fire and water complement
Yes.
in all three of them. But so when I read that question, by the way, my mind instantly fifth elemented this, and I started thinking about Earth and
Oh,
air. And like for air, I'm thinking of like executive
executive
decision
decision.
and actually like the hang gliding in Escape from
Yeah.
LA. It's like I
And
start
sky
thinking of
high.
right. I started thinking about these and just him as the celestial even. And then the Earth, also him as a celestial, but Earth him being in that subterranean thing, the use of Victor Wong's dusts and stones, and I don't know, that felt very almost like chthonic, like in that almost Wiccan or mystic or magical way. Like I started, I don't know, I had fun just reacting to reading that question before I even started weighing out, feelings about fire and water with him.
And even Hateful Eight, there's a fire in a cold cabin surrounded by ice. So I think you're right. They all go together. But I started thinking about Earth too, and air and land. I mean, a lot of his westerns are very dust heavy. A lot of earth go in there. But I don't know if any of those are his. I think if we're gonna take one sidekick, it's his flamethrower.
Yeah,
And
I mean, that thing is practically a character in that movie.
and his gun in Escape from New York, it fires bullets.
Come on now. I mean, there's a spark. We're not playing. There's not a what is it? A nickel linked spark there, but
Yeah, that one
but that
that
had I
was
mean that had its fire.
yeah, that
That
definitely
had
had its
some
fire.
fire.
So I mean, like, there's a lot of dumpsters on fire and other trash cans on fire. A lot of good firework. But if we're gonna say his best sidekick, it's fire. I think fire is his best sidekick.
It's fire and it's the flamethrower. Yeah, it's
Good question, Allie. That was a great outside the box
that
question.
one also had him with the Molotov too. Like there
Oh
was it's
yeah,
just yeah, there was a lot going on there.
we're taking fire.
And then even though it's not fire itself, there was the intended Molotov that he hands over that gets drank at the end of the thing.
Wait, when? I don't remember that.
So at the end of the thing, it's like, let's just sit here a while.
Oh yeah.
And he hands him the bottle that was for the Molotov cocktails, and Keith David drinks it. Or at
Oh
least that's
man.
the claim. The claim is like that was that. Like he wasn't walking around with a bottle of whiskey, although he could have just found one of his J&B bottles that he didn't pour on
Into a computer.
Chessmaster, right? But well, a lot of argument was that's what he was doing. He was hunting the thing down. So that bottle that he had on him, what? Because then he found Childs. He's like, "What are you doing?" Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like he was casually just waiting for the end already. So one of the big thoughts was that that's how you know that Childs was the thing if both of them weren't the thing because he drank it and was fine.
Oh, I never even thought about that, John. That's a fire theory.
That's, dude,
That theory is fire.
hashtag fire.
Has he ever been fired in one of his jobs? Yeah, I'm stretching. Okay, we're going. Maybe Dark
Well,
Blue he
to be
did.
fair, I'm pretty sure that Martin Short said you're fired a couple times
Yeah,
to him in Captain Ron, but it never,
and he
or
gets
he would
fired
talk
up.
to his wife about firing him.
He gets fired up a little bit too. But yeah, fire.
He also got fired in the beginning of Overboard.
Yes, from working on her boat.
Right.
He never got fired as the head coach of that team. Let's see. Executive decision. He's working pretty good. Deepwater Horizon, Vanilla Sky, and he doesn't get fired. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get fired in too many jobs.
If he had a truck job scheduled, he would have been fired during Big Trouble in Little China, whether he knew it or not. Like there was no email notification on a cell phone to let him know that he was fired, but I have a feeling that he didn't go pick something up that he was supposed to over the course of those days.
Yeah, he would have gotten fired if there was a schedule, for sure.
Definitely.
All right, it's fire. We did it.
All right.
All right, James Donovan, longtime friend. We've known him for many years. He asked, "Does Kurt Russell want to destroy other musical instruments?" And this is in regards to the 2015 moment in The Hateful Eight when Kurt Russell destroyed a vintage Martin guitar by smashing it. We're talking a real vintage rare guitar, and he just smashed it because he didn't know, and it was priceless. And he just destroyed it, in which is horrifying. So I guess the question is, John, if you would like to watch Kurt Russell destroy one instrument, what would you like to watch him destroy? Like a tuba, trombone?
I feel like I'd like to see him, but this is Jack Burton. It has to be Jack Burton for this to work, or Captain Ron. But I'd like to see him attack a giant harp, and I'd like him to like kick it, and it just like it bounces down and doesn't break, and then he kicks through it, but now his foot is like caught through some of the cords because it just broke a couple cords that weren't quite the width of his foot, and I was kind of and it's like twisting his ankle as it's falling, and he's kind of just like freaking out of it, and he's like trying to almost like you're trying to kick someone away from you when they're crawling at you, trying to grab at your foot. He's trying to kick it away from holding on to his foot, almost like it's a creature, because now he's kind of panicked by it, like just some stupid erratic kind of situation.
Oh, some beautiful physical comedy from Jack Burton as he's
Yeah,
stuck in it.
probably drunk.
Yeah, probably drunk. He lost a lot of money playing cards. He kicks a harp, and it's just comedy.
I mean, he could have even just escaped the three storms and then bumps into the harp. It starts to knock over. It scares him. It's dark. He can't see, so he like kicks at it, and that's what initiate when he kicks through a few of the chords. Like just a stupid kind of scene
Oh,
is where I go. It's funny though, when I think of Kurt Russell's characters just across the board, I don't think of people who would like take joy in destroying things.
this is what I think. So like Crunch Calhoun from The Art of the Steel, he might try to jump 40 pianos and land on one. Or in Death Proof, stuntman Mike is chasing somebody and a random piano is being crossed through, or there's a parade. Like it just something like that's where the destruction would come from. Like, he's not trying to destroy him. It's just in the way. And something a piano gets leveled. That's the only way I see that happening, if that makes sense. Or if we got really meta and Snake Plissken reaches into the screen and grabs John Carpenter's synth machine and just smashes it because he's tired of the score. That's what I see.
Okay, wait. Okay, new movie, Escape from Hoboken, New Jersey. Okay, Snake Plissken. He's on like a lower floor, and he's facing like the guy, his head nemesis or whatever in the movie. But he was on the upper floor earlier, and this building is falling apart. And he remembers there was a grand piano, and he waits for the bad guy to walk under where the grand piano would be on the floor above, and then he shoots the floor. So and the guy's just watching him like laughing, like you fool, and then the piano falls through the floor like a cartoon, or actually, that is like a cartoon moment where you like shoot the floor so that it breaks and you just fall down to the next level. I think that Kate Beckinsale did that in one of the Underworld movies.
Yeah, she shot in a circle and then she fell.
Yeah. But like something
Ugh.
like that. But instead you're doing it to shoot the thing so it'll fall on the bad guy.
He's a guy who would do that. He's that good.
And
And he's that
he's doing it because he knows if he just shoots at the bad guy's 80 other goons will all shoot him. But if he shoots at the ceiling, they don't know what he's doing, right? They just think he's just being stupid and something. Like they're just watching and laughing,
look at this
and he's
idiot.
laughing. It's almost like when you start laughing and then the bad guy starts laughing, and then you start laughing harder, and then they start laughing harder. And then before you know it, Arnold Schwarzenegger says, these handcuffs, I have picked them. And it's like there's like the big pull away. And so then when it falls though, it's the surprise element. So it's going to take out the bad guy and he's running. Everyone else is watching this thing fall and just turn the bad guy into that kid who left the dentist office in Final Destination 2 or 3, right?
Smushed.
So I'd see him destroying things like that. That would be a good way for
God.
him to destroy a grand
Yeah, he
piano.
wouldn't punch a piano or kick it. He would just you like either run into it during a chase or stunt or use it to kill a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we could have had a drunk Elvis smashing guitars, but we didn't see that in that movie. He could have shot a guitar because he loved guns, but I like yours. Escape from Hoboken, New Jersey,
Mhm.
piano kill.
It was some kind of like event hall that had become dilapidated because in
Oh,
the future, Hoboken, New Jersey became a prison county after some Armageddon.
got sent in here again. He's in there. I like it. That's a great answer. We did it. All right. I like this one. Nathan LaHaye. Who were his top five most useful sidekicks and companions? And then he put who are his worst. So do you want to hear my list?
Sure, I go right ahead.
Okay. Oh, do you have something you got?
No, no, I really struggled on this,
Okay.
and
Okay. So I took sidekicks and I didn't take love interests. I took more of like someone who is a sidekick or a coworker of his or a someone who works for him. So I didn't want to take a spouse, say, and break down or something like that. Like I guess if you were looking at like a companion, who's the most useful? I guess you could say Fonda from Escape from LA because they surf to where they need to go. But I'm gonna say Childs because he's a survivor, trustworthy. Then we have Wang from Big Trouble in Little China. He's the hero of the movie. Also, Gracie Law is pretty great, but she gets kind of kidnapped pretty quick. But I think Wang, I mean, he does all the work. Then we have Mantis from Guardians 2, because he basically owns her, but she's hilarious, Mantis. Then we have Deputy Chicory from Bone Tomahawk. He's the sheriff in that, and Richard Jenkins is wonderful. I'm gonna say his car from Death Proof, and then I'm gonna say Doc Holliday in Tombstone, because he's pretty much the BFF, the companion of Wyatt Earp. So those are my most useful. But then I have worse. I have Little Nobody from Fast Eight. I have like Courtney Cox and Costner from 3,000 Miles to Graceland. I have Martin from Captain Ron because he's just a wiener who's yelling at him the whole time. I'm gonna say Tango from Tango and Cash because they never really work together. They're not like they're just fighting the whole time. And then I'm gonna do Scott Speedman as Detective Bobby Keogh from Dark Blue because they don't do the best work together. So those are my five. But
so
I
I,
think
I
I
oh, you
think
go
I picked
ahead,
some
go
good
ahead.
ones.
Yeah, so I overlapped with you a lot, but some of my reasoning was a little out there. Like for Tango and Cash, so Tango and Cash, Sylvester Stallone, but also Big Trouble in Little China. What's his name?
Oh,
Not
the pork
Victor.
chop too. That's like a good
The
companion.
the hero. Oh, why can't I think of his name in Big Trouble in Little China? The hero
Dennis
character, the
Dunn,
real
Wang
hero.
Chi.
Yeah, the real hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like in both of those cases, they're kind of like they're presented visually as the sidekick, when in both of those cases, they're the people making the smarter and more heroic decisions
Yes.
because he's the sidekick. Like that,
Yeah.
that's the gag we always love talking about. I agree with you that Captain Ron is just rich with sidekickery, but to me, it kind of yo-yoed between Martin Short as the unwilling sidekick on these adventures, and then the occasional stuff with the combination of the kids, a little
Oh
more the son,
yeah.
Swab,
Schwab. Yeah. Get your own beer.
right? So I don't even. I did have the car and I had the flamethrower. So death proof
Oh.
and the thing like again they were just like we always joke that his facial hair is almost a character in some of these things, but in this case, the visual iconography of those things in that movie, you can't think of Kurt Russell in The Thing or Death Proof without thinking specifically of the car and the flamethrower. It's the most commonly used GIF
Yeah.
for the thing is
So
him with a flamethrower.
so we have the flamethrower, the car. We have, let's see, Wang. So that's three. Do you like the Deputy Chicory? Do you like Doc Holiday? Yeah, Doc. Do you like Mantis from Guardians 2? Because she's very useful because she can read minds and she does all of his work. So definitely, but then she turns on him, so that's not really useful.
I mean, she was really a slave,
Yeah,
but
that's
but,
true.
but I mean, we're using sidekick really generally here, right? So it's but I mean, I really liked her character, but yeah, as a sidekick, it does kind of, when you wonder in the betrayal, it makes it hard to include. I almost put Doc Holliday, but Doc Holliday seemed the most like his equal in the gang. So it felt, there was nothing
Yeah,
haphazard about it. It was very duo, where Tango and Cash is a haphazard pairing, and like Martin Short and
a
and
haphazard pairing.
a haphazard pairing, Wang and Jack Burton. haphazard pairing.
Okay, how about this? What about Gene from Executive Decision, Holly Berry? Because they
Oh,
actually,
they were a good team.
yeah, let's do them because they're
They were a good
like
team.
they meet on the plane. They bond. He wears that cool hoodie. Then they land a plane. That's a good companion. That's a good, not a sidekick. They're a duo.
But they worked together and they worked together well. And you know who else?
Who?
James Spader
Yes.
from Stargate. Or
Yeah.
even that kid he gives the lighter to from Stargate, although
Oh
that's more
yeah.
minor. Like yeah, there's some good sidekickery
Like
in there.
Barachel's good in the Art of the Steel, but I kind of like the kid from Captain Ron. That
Yeah.
was a really good poll. That made me happy.
Swab.
Swab, get your own beer. Like that's so we have Carr, we have Flamethrower, we have Gene, we have Wang, and then who's our fifth? Do you want to do Spader? Do you want to do the kid? Do you
Let's
want
do
to do
Spader. I
all
like
right,
Spader.
Spader? I
I
like
like
that.
Spader.
Man, that was good. And then
Yes,
we
yeah.
don't have to go too far into worst, but I mean, little nobody in Fast Eight, like he never even came back. You know, Costner. I like Courtney Cox, but that 3,000 Miles to Graceland is so bad.
I like
I
it. It's not something I want to go watch again anytime soon.
yeah.
Like every 5 or 8 years is good for me, but
Do you think that Stallone and Russell work well together in Tango and Cash?
I think that they worked well together in making an entertaining movie. I
Yeah.
think that the two care again, like he just kept leading him into trouble. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And then Speedman, he's fine, but like that wasn't the point of Dark Blue. So I think we did it. That was we. I'm actually really happy with that top five.
well, I'm glad you put so much thought into the worst because I really, it's hard to think of things that didn't work as well unless they bothered you. So it's like it's hard to pull that stuff. If you were just saying, what's the worst, what are the worst five hero characters in any movie? I'll be like, oh, no problem, right? But if it's the worst sidekicks in movies that I probably liked with a hero that I probably liked, it's a little harder. Boy, I could get hate for this, but I'm judging this specifically as a sidekick and not as another character in the movie. Adrienne Barbeau in Escape from New York.
Oh yeah, she rolls deep with him.
Yeah, but like she didn't feel like awesome sidekick. She was a good
No,
character,
he's
but like that sometimes though they were in kind of like situations that are analogous to a lot of what we're bringing up, but like she wouldn't really be delivering satisfaction as a sidekick.
they're just travel buddies for a
Hmm.
little bit, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Oh, that was a good one. I mean, yeah, and that we have Fonda and Escape from LA and what Eddie too, played by Steve Buscemi, but that doesn't really count. Or Valerie
Nope.
Galina.
But I mean, if I've been in prison for a while and my travel buddy is 1981 Adrian Barbeau, no complaints.
Or 95 Valerie Galina.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I love I love my that's a great top. Okay. Johnny Num, better Kurt Russell rendition of Elvis. Elvis or 3,000 Miles to Graceland? It's Elvis.
So we didn't really get much Elvis rendition in 3000 Miles to Graceland, but
None.
I'm going to say the controversial thing because the Elvis movie, we talked about it, it's not really my kind of movie. So I just enjoyed the not even trying very hard, but overall resembling Elvis in 3000 Miles to Graceland. That's just more my kind of movie. It also came out when I was in my mid 20s. Like that
Yeah.
movie was for Courtney Cox is just raging hot in it, and she's like, this honeypot kind of criminal shyster in it. Everyone is just oozing scum in it. Like Christian Slater in there. Like, it just, I don't know. So that movie just hit me right, and it kind of worked for me that he wasn't all in on being Elvis like. He just had the hair, a
He just
little bit of
looked
the
like him.
looks. His character liked Elvis, right? But it's not there's not a lot to compare for me. But of course you have to ask because there's the Elvisness obviously in both.
I mean, I'm taking Carpenter's Elvis because they shot it in what, 24 days? So he just had to star in a 3 hour long movie and like with no prep. And he kind of I think he played Elvis in like 8 different ages. Like so he had to go from like teenage Elvis to 20s Elvis to 30s Elvis to 40s Elvis, covered the whole gamut, and he likes the movie. So I'll take that. But I see your point. 3,000 Miles to Graceland is better to think about than watch. Would you agree?
Look, I really enjoy watching it, but again, like
Oh,
once per decade,
got
though.
it.
It's not like if someone says, "Oh, I haven't seen 3,000 Miles to Graceland," I'm never going to say, "You haven't seen 3,000 Miles to
Sit
Graceland?" Like
down.
we're watching it now. Like that's just not going to happen, even if it's been 10 years. But when we decided to talk about it for the podcast, I was excited to watch it and think about it. But like I'm not wrangling my wife into this viewing.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Another one from Johnny Num. Better wait. Snake Plissken versus the canister of green goo from Prince of Darkness, aka like the physical embodiment of Satan. Who like if you did escape from hell, who wins? Snake or the goo?
Okay, I had a lot of conflict with this because the goo and that Prince of Darkness movie is so don't get me wrong, there's some effects that can be some hokey 80s fun, but the content itself is truly dire and it feels dire. Escape from New York, right? They just tell you that it's dire, but it doesn't feel dire. It just
Mm-hmm.
feels, fun and gritty. It's so I don't know how well Snake Plissken exists in a world, or I'm sorry, in the world of John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. But if in so I think that he loses. But if instead we reverse it and the goo from Prince of Darkness is dropped into the world of Escape from New York, I'm going to be more comfortable finding him the victor because it's not going to seem so dire that, some criminal who gets himself out of binds and is just good enough with guns.
Snake would open it though and just allow the world to be destroyed.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
But he'd want to get out alive.
he would.
He's a survivor. I don't know if he'd be confident that he'd get out okay with that.
He would. Let's assume he does. And Satan's like, we're good. Go to an island.
You've done plenty for me already.
Yeah, go to Cleveland. You can have it.
Hoboken, New Jersey
Yeah,
is
go
yours.
to Hoboken, yours. And if you want to travel through, here's a pass. Like, like here's a like you have a park pass for the nation. Like you can go to any national park.
Yeah.
Satan just gives you one of those. So wherever you go, people stop you. He just puts the card out. And they're like, demons are reading. Oh, okay, yeah, go. So he has one of those. But it's like kind of looked down on.
Yeah. Another reason I had a little trouble just wrapping my head around that question is that all of the battling, if you will, other than wrestling, a possessed zombie off of you, the real fight was fought with knowledge and like knowledge of obscure, I won't use the word scripture, I guess, but obscure text, theologians knowledge. And so again, it felt like it's a totally different kind of fight. Like I don't think a gun is gonna serve them
It's
all. But again, of course, your take though is more like the finale of the remake of the Blob, though, where we've got that tent evangelist who was scarred by it, who had it in a jar, who was probably going to use it to end the world.
I'm telling you, he's just whatever. Like Stacy Keach or someone pisses him off and he's like, yeah, just take it.
He pours some into Stacy Keach's coffee.
Lights a cigarette and walks away.
What happens to Stacy Keach? Does he just get possessed like everyone else became like a pizza faced like melty zombie, or who vomits a stream of water to make other zombies, or does he become something else?
I think he becomes something else. Like he out of him bursts Satan.
Like when we first see Darkness and Legend, how he like tears a portal through the fabric of space, and it's through Stacy Keach's like military green shirt.
Yes. And when his assistant just sits there going, oh my God, just explodes through Stacy Keach.
Was that a Tommy boy that you just pulled?
Yeah, yeah. From Ryan Levingood, your cousin always said, you just go, oh
Oh my
my God.
God.
Well, that was a good one. Okay. Nick Rehack. Is there a correlation between the amount of money his films make based on how much facial hair he has? So
I
you and I
feel
have,
like you've
yeah.
done this.
So you and I have figured out that, well, I've done it with critic scores. The movies where he has a beard or mustache, it has a 78.8% tomato meter score, and that's higher than Superhero Dad Russell, period piece Russell, science fiction Russell, car Russell, coach Russell, stuntman Russell, law enforcement soldier, firefighter Russell, sleeveless t-shirt Russell, Elvis Russell, or water Russell. And so, and also water Russell has like the lowest of tomato meter scores, which is really interesting. But averages. But yeah, so it's they have the highest critical scores. So you have Deepwater Horizon, The Thing, Hateful Eight, Bone Tomahawk, Tombstone. But I kind of came across a revelation here, John. So let's take out Furious 7 and the because he's doesn't have a mustache in that one. Let's take out Guardians of the Galaxy. He's heavily mustached, but you know, it's a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So then we'll go look at his next films. Vanilla Sky, it's a Tom Cruise movie, clean face. Stargate, clean face, short hair. Poseidon, clean face, short hair. Backdraft, clean face, really short hair. But then we have, get this, Hateful Eight, fully bearded. But then we go to Deepwater Horizon, short hair, mustache. Then we go to Executive Decision, clean face. Then we go to Sky High, clean face. Then we go to Miracle, clean face. Then we go to Tango Cash, clean face. So his beard work, his like 3,000 Miles to Graceland, The Thing, Escape from LA, New York, where he has the stubble. Those movies, Bone Tomahawk, those movies don't make the most money. It's his kind of clean cut films that pull in the most bang.
I wonder. Well, of course, it's box office, right? I mean,
Yeah,
because
not video sales.
if we like, I don't even know how you correct for that. But how does the thing perform in its life?
Oh, tremendously. I mean, that thing has sold so
Like,
many copies. So I guess if we're talking about if we're going to talk about longevity, the mustache and Tombstone, the facial hair and Escape from New York, the beard and hair and The Thing. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy made bank, his giant beard. So if we're going to talk about his most iconic roles, I think we say facial hair. But if we're going to talk about straight up box office, then we got to go like Stargate. He has short. So between Stargate and Backdraft, two of his highest grossing films, and Poseidon, completely like. So okay, for Kurt Russell starring movies where Kurt Russell's name is on the poster, main page alongside Spader or something like that. It's Stargate, Poseidon, and Backdraft. Like he's in Vanilla Sky, but he's not on the poster. It's a
right.
Tom Cruise movie. So if we're looking at Kurt Russell movies, it's Stargate and Backdraft. And I'm going to leave out Poseidon for a little bit, but he basically looks the same in Stargate and Backdraft. Short hair, jacked. So
Not
between
that
those,
Soldier killed it.
yeah, Soldier killed it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he didn't have great luck with that. But we love that movie. But I think, two of his biggest mainstream hits that were Kurt Russell movies are short hair, clean shaven.
Sure.
So longevity wise, facial hair. Critical score, facial hair. But if we're talking about Kurt Russell vehicle, short hair, no facial hair. Like Executive Decision became his movie. That made a lot of money. And
Dude,
he's super clean cut in that.
God, I guess most of the people listening who know Executive Decision are probably like close to our age. They're not way young. If you know about Executive Decision and you're listening to us, you're not 25 probably. And but if you were to go watch it, if you are 25 and you go watch it, you're gonna miss something about that movie. And this applies to a lot of movies that came out like in the 90s and earlier that we got to enjoy. And that's that when you watch the trailer for Executive Decision, that is a Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah.
And then when you watch in the trailer, like there's no 8 trailers where they reveal more and more and more. There's one trailer, and that's a Steven Seagal movie, and Kurt Russell is in it as the nerd, right? And then you go watch it. This is a Kurt Russell movie.
Yeah.
Like that, and that kind of surprise just it hardly when that happens nowadays, it is one movie out of 1,000 movies released in a year where the director got in with the production company and they're like, this is going to be like a secret. Like, but now, we're spoiling everything before it happens. And like, but that was so like when Steven Seagal dies. I mean, it's not like you see him die, but you know he dies. So when Steven Seagal dies, you're just like, wait, this is like minute 38. I don't understand how the movie goes now.
You'll complete the mission. Blonk.
So like that Kurt Russell movie like really gets to stand out for that reason. That's one of those movies where it's not that they just didn't give everything away. It's that they showed you the beginnings of the movie and didn't show you any of the real middling or reveals of the movie. And man, like that was such an exciting time. I wish we could go back to that style of doing things. We're so the opposite of surprises now that, and like, or certain people being in the movie that you didn't know was going to be in the movie. Now you know everyone who's in the movie.
And it sucks too. As immediately when the film comes out, there's like spoiler articles, or the Great British Bake Off is spoiled immediately when it airs. Netflix shows the day the release are like, "What's up for the ending of this show?" And you're like, "No, stop, stop." Yeah, I didn't see that coming. It was amazing. He just got sucked out. I wasn't much of a Seagal guy. I knew him from the Under Siege movies, but I hadn't watched his three other, Mark to Kill, Above the Law, Hard to Kill, those
Marked for
movies.
Death
Mark for Death.
and
And so I
Above the
just
Law.
knew
Yep.
him. I didn't know how big he was. And so when he died, I knew it was a shock, but I was just happy to have Kurt Russell around and John Leguizamo and Halle Berry. So and Oliver Platt and Joe Morton. What a cast. What a cast. Okay, I'm gonna jump down a little bit. We're gonna do Dylan or Dirty D. He used to send us a lot of questions, John, all the way from Australia, correct?
Correct. He
Oh,
lives in Brisbane, and I was with him in Bali this year.
oh, good. Oh, I mean that's closer for him than here, so that's good. Good old Dirty D. All right, which Kurt Russell hairstyle is the best and which is the worst?
So I'm
We've talked about this. I want to hear your answer.
so it was funny when you said we talked about this. I thought you were talking to me, and then when you said I want to hear your answer, I'm like, whose answer?
No, but we've covered it. Like we've looked at this
Yeah.
chart before with him in it.
So just my gut, and don't get me wrong, if I sit there and I stare at all his movies, sometimes you rationalize or you start weighing things differently. For this, it's pure gut. And for me, the gut is the thing,
Oh, I'm going New York and LA.
which is similar,
Yeah.
right?
Just
Similar,
less beard.
but for me, it's the thing. It's the combination of the beard and the hair and what they do with that, with the frost later and the coldness of his eyes when he's just had it and doesn't trust anybody. Like the hair frames everything so well. The first time we see him in that hat is the helicopter is coming in the opening scenes of the thing. Like just fantastic. Worst? It's probably gonna be Tequila
Yes, yes,
Sunrise.
yes. That was my pick. Ah,
Like again,
just
this
Pat
is
Riley,
gut. I
New
mean, you
York.
have to think a little harder to think of the bad, but like, yeah, just and he played his character well. It's just it's almost like what if Ryan Reynolds suddenly was a character actor for one movie? You'd be like, what's happening? I don't understand what's happening. What happened to the Reynolds that I expected to see? It would just it threw me visually so hard. Like you want to say things like Soldier or Stargate because he looks just too clean or something. But no, Tequila Sunrise.
I agree. When you look at like a breakdown of his hair through all of his movies, it's like big, 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 floppy, floppy, floppy. Like Overboard's a little bit of a mullet, but then you get to Tequila Sunrise and he's just doing the Pat Riley slick back, and I don't like that. I don't enjoy it. So we're really close. I mean, I would say Escape from New York and Tequila Sunrise. You're the thing in Tequila Sunrise.
Hmm.
Oh, I love that. All right, what's your favorite Kurt Russell quote? I think it might be the same as mine. I'm gonna go.
Do I
Everybody
have?
relax. I'm here.
Oh, okay, that's fair. And you know what else about this is going to sound ridiculous. I have three tank tops that I wear at home. They're like when I come home from work, it doesn't, or if I come home from the gym, I shower, I get changed in my just at home clothes. Like some people wear regular clothes at home. My wife and I do not. We are like in whatever clothes that we would wear right before bed whenever we're at home. So it's like old gym shorts that I wouldn't even wear at the gym anymore and a tank top. And I have three tank tops that I rotate through. And one of them is a face of Kurt Russell and it says, "Everyone relax, I'm here." So I wear that legitimately upwards of 100 days a year for the last 5 or 6 years. But for me, it's funny though too. Like, yes, it's a fantastic line, but also no
Yeah,
in slow
no.
motion.
No.
Like
Eight,
there
14 O's.
things like that really stand out. He's got a lot of great lines. But yeah, everybody relax. I'm here is it's iconic. It's very Kurt Russell in that sense of how we used to argue like the Jack Burton timeline, how this character is in so many movies. That could have just as well been a Captain Ron line. It could
Yeah.
have just as well been a line from Overboard. It could have just as well been a line from Used Cars
The
because
rakish
it's
Kurt
because
Russell.
it's that Kurt Russell
Yeah.
given the line. So you're right. I think I agree with you on that one.
And then this one I had a good time with. what one iconic role would you recast with Kurt Russell? So my first thought was Han Solo because he almost got the role, but then I went for this, John, because we're covering the Evil Dead franchise. Ash. So in Ash and Evil Dead, I'd love to watch him go Gonzo and chop off his hand. Then Ash in Army of Darkness. Kurt Russell with the hair, getting beat up, acting he can act like an idiot already, and then leading an army against skeletons. Like that's I would never want to trade out Campbell because that's what he made his career on. But I would love to see Kurt Russell in an alternate reality being Ash in the Evil Dead franchise.
That's interesting. Okay, so I dug into a weird place for this because I was having a really hard time thinking of anything. Like so hard. Like that it was so hard that instead like something random would pop in my head and that's what would instead start populating the possibilities. And okay, so this is specifically in the 80s. I want to be clear. This is absolutely in the 80s. No 90s Russell existed yet before this. In place of Michael Keaton as Batman.
Whoa.
His and some people be like, back then with his hair, there's no way I could picture it.